Good evening, guys. Thank you for stopping by the channel. Really appreciate it. It is great to have you here. Welcome to the General Soapbox. Now, the General Soapbox is as it suggests. It's just my chance to rant a bit, to vent a bit about the things that I've seen, about what's going on and stuff like that, give my opinions, and they are only that. They are only my opinions. So let's make a start. Okay. Today we are going to talk about, as it suggests in the title, we are going to talk about the relaxation of lockdown in the United Kingdom. And we're also going to be talking about the fantastic bunch of people that work for the NHS, especially during this time. So, what's happening with lockdown relaxation? Well, so far as I'm aware, we have social distancing down to 1 metre. Shops, pubs, clubs, restaurants all open with social distancing put in place. Schools opening up with social distancing put in place. Everything is basically open as long as there is a 1 metre distance between people in these places. Let's address the first thing first. Quite possibly the most vulnerable group of people for me are the kids, school kids. I am very, very fortunate to be a father of 3. And when my kids went to school, I could guarantee you, if anybody said to them, look, you need to stay 2 metres apart from your pals, they would have looked at them and went, no, go away, leave me alone, I'm out playing. It's completely unworkable in that environment alone. You're going to have kids who are going to come into contact with each other. And it doesn't matter whether they're asymptomatic. If they've got the virus, they're going to pass it on. Because what will happen is they'll take it home. They'll maybe pass it on to somebody that's a bit more vulnerable. So yeah, let's move on to the pubs and clubs. I'm just going to go over this very, very briefly. Are you honestly trying to tell me that you think that a group of men and women who are out to have a really good time after 3 months of being stuck inside, that they're really going to maintain the social distancing? It's going to become a lot more difficult even for that to happen. Now, I know the pubs, clubs and businesses round about have to put up a tremendous amount of effort into opening. Okay? Yes, I get it. I totally get it. The amount they've had to invest, the time they've had to invest, the training that they've had to give their staff has been absolutely phenomenal. I used to work in the bar business myself. And it's a tough game to be in anyway. But when you're faced with all of these extra restrictions and regulations, I know that there's a lot of places round about where I stay in Lancaster that have just said, you know what, we're not going to bother. Until it's absolutely safe for us to open, we're not going to bother. And I think, honestly, that's exactly what I think should happen. Okay? You're going to move on now to the restaurants and the shops. Now, the shops have had a bit of a thing to go through because they have always been open all the way through this to sell essentials for people. So the likes of your supermarkets, your chemists, they've all been open right throughout this. Okay, so really, yes, I think there needs to be scope for them to be open and a bit more, but no more than was already happening in my view. You could walk into a local supermarket at any given time and see a queue that was accumulatively maybe about 1.5 miles long. 1.5 miles long. Zigzagging about, waiting for people to go in, waiting for people to come out so people could go in. And it worked. The thing is, people were patient with each other. It wasn't the best situation, but people still got in for their provisions and got out. So I really don't see what needed to change with that. So the relaxation thing hasn't really worked for me. Now, I'm going to move on to the next main point for me. Yesterday, we had to take the opportunity to get one of our relatives to hospital. Now, when we went into the accident and emergency department, we were told that only one of us could go in. I managed to get in because the person I was with could not communicate. They were in so much pain. So it meant that I had to go along with them. Now, I went in wearing a full mask. And when I went in, What I saw was the waiting room was empty. They were only admitting maybe a couple of people at a time, and absolutely I get that. Absolutely get that. And when I went in, we sat down, we were talking away, and there was people coming back and forth. People who wouldn't, just refused to wear the mask. For me, that was quite possibly the worst of all situations to refuse to wear a mask in. You're in a hospital accident and emergency department. The very least you should be doing is putting a mask on. Unless you've got a medical thing that says you can't wear the masks, I understand that as well. I get that. But unless you have an absolutely blindingly good reason for not wearing one, you should be wearing a mask. Especially in that situation. Now, at this point, I would like to again salute the men and women who have been working in these hospitals all the way through this entire crisis, who have been dealing with the people with coronavirus, who have been bringing them back to health, who have been working with them, putting their own lives at risk, putting their families' lives at risk, just so that we could stay well during this time. I think the NHS, the National Health Service staff in this country have done an absolutely brilliant job. And here's the thing. When this gets back and when everything starts to calm down a little more and a little more and a little more, they deserve a pay rise. They deserve something in recognition for the effort that they've put in, the risk that they have put themselves and their family at. They deserve something a bit more. And we are going to have politicians blustering and going, well, you know, we have to look at the budget for this and the what's it for that and the doodah for the next thing. No, you don't. You have to give these people what they deserve. Our very own Prime Minister was treated by people in a National Health Service hospital. When he had the coronavirus, he went to a National Health Hospital and they treated him there. He had doctors and nurses working around the clock to make sure that he was okay. But they would do that for every single person that walked through their doors. And for the government to turn around and say, basically, hum and haw about giving the staff the recognition they deserve. Our nurses have not had a pay rise in many, many years. Their pay had been frozen. Now, yes, we did come out of a recession. I absolutely get that. But what this crisis should have brought up and brought forward and illustrated very, very plainly, brightly, neon lights, let's do this. These guys do a job that actually absolutely very few people could. They do not get the recognition they deserve, so we need to go some way to providing them with that. Now, I know money isn't everything. I get that. But when you have men and women who are going in to do a job that I couldn't, that a lot of us couldn't, there's got to be something for them. There absolutely has to be something for them. I went in there and the doctors and nurses that worked with my relative, they were absolutely brilliant. They wore full PPE. But you see, here's the thing. Going back to what I said earlier, there were men and women in that waiting room who weren't wearing anything at all because they didn't want to. And that got me angry, actually. It did get me angry. Because I'm thinking there are men and women working in that department who are prepared to take care of your health and give you what you need in order for you to feel better and do whatever they need to do in order for you to get well. And you refuse to wear a face mask? So I wonder what would happen if somebody went in there refusing to wear a mask and then all of a sudden contracted this COVID-19, this coronavirus. Who would they blame? It just got me really, really angry that people were refusing to wear these things. And yes, I do get that. And there are certain conditions where you can't wear those masks. Absolutely, utterly understand that. And so did the men and women that work in the NHS. So did the doctors. So did the nurses. So did the porters. So did the cleaners. So do the cooks. So they are prepared to walk into an already swelteringly hot room in full PPE to treat a person who can't wear a mask, to treat a person who really needs the healthcare that they can provide. Let's not forget every member of staff inside these hospitals who are daily putting their life at risk. The care that my relative received was absolutely top notch. It was fantastic. But just as we're leaving and on our way home, there are people going in and out of the hospital not wearing a mask. It's one simple thing that if you can do it, you absolutely really should. Because it protects you. It protects your family. It protects the people around you. It protects the staff in these places that you're going to see. So that's my soapbox topic for today, guys. The relaxation of lockdown for me should never have happened. It should never have happened. It's way too much, way too quick, and way too soon. We're already noticing in the UK that there's another spike in certain areas. And it's on its way back. Why? Because the government relaxed the guidelines. Now, what they said was it's a relaxation. They didn't say they were getting rid of them. But a lot of people, if you say to somebody, well, we're relaxing this and we're relaxing that, a lot of people are going to think, I think quite rightly, well, we don't need to worry about it anymore. Right, we can get back to work. Here we go. And then bang, 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 before you know it, stuff like this has happened again. Leicester is in almost complete shutdown now. An entire area of this country is almost gone back into shutdown because they have spiked. And the way it's looking, some forecasters are saying it's going to spike worse than the first spike. Pubs and clubs are letting people in. Now, I'm no drinker. I used to be. I am anymore. So that doesn't really affect me. But again, you have to consider the staff. You have to consider the people that are working there. You have to consider the people that are going in and providing the custom. Are you honestly telling me 1 metre distancing is going to be adhered to when you've got a bunch of people late on at night that have had a few of the old jollifications too many? They're going to stick to social distancing? I don't think so. I really don't think so. And again, moving on to the NHS staff, the doctors, the nurses, the cleaners, the porters, the ambulance drivers, the medics. Guys, you do a fantastic job. You really, really do a fantastic job, and you are to be highly commended for it. And I, for one, am going to be writing a letter to my local MP stating that I think that you should get the rise you so thoroughly deserve, and you have deserved it for years. But you deserve it now more than at any other time because you have saved this country. So there we go, guys. That's it. That's my tuppence worth. That's my soapbox. Hope you liked it, guys. And if you did, hit the like button. And if you like it, hit the subscribe button. And if you've subscribed, hit the little bell button. Give it a ding ding. Let's do this. Guys, if you get any comments to make them below. It would be great to hear from you. The next video is going to be Saturday. It's going to be an update video. The following one is going to be on the Wednesday, and that's going to be the final update video. Because, guys, we're looking to launch really soon. You guys have been awesome. Like I said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button, ding ding, let's do this. This has been the General Soapbox. I'm the General. You take care. Thank you very much. You are absolutely fantastic. I will catch you again on Saturday. Bye bye.